2 months. Yes. Months. We love it being 2 months. It's okay. Okay, well, we can start. I was looking for my phone. I'm trying to pull up Stream Chat on my phone. Alright. Developers perform some tasks on everyday tasks, including declaring string and variables, assigning and extracting values, and performing calculations are routine but essential. Equally important is the task of communicating results to the application user. Mastering the ability to apply these skills to solve a given problem is something that every developer must learn to do. Suppose you are a teacher's assistant at a school. You're tasked with developing an application that automates student grading. The application uses all of the scored assignments for each student to calculate the current overall grade score for the class. The teacher has also provided a required format for reporting the student grades. This module will guide you through the steps required to develop your student grading application. Your code will declare and assign values to variables based on student names, perform various numeric calculations, and display the results. Calculations include determining the sum of assignment scores and calculating the current grade for each student. To display the results in the required format, you'll use console.writeLine, as usual, as well as character escape sequences that will help format your results. By the end of this module, you'll be able to write code that uses various variable types, performs numeric calculations, and displays formatted data for the user. You'll practice how to work with variables to store and retrieve data, perform basic math operations, and format strings to present results. Okay. That's nice. Yeah, that's nice. You should be able to now. If you can't hear it, then there's something wrong on your end because my mic is up, so like this is turning it up high. Yeah, there. Okay. I was debating getting a piece of paper. Okay. I already have a piece of paper for this exact reason. Let me find it. Found it. Now I just need a lot of pencils. Alright. Let's see here. Okay. You're given a short list of 4 students and there are 5 assignment grades. Each assignment grade is expressed as an integer value, 0 to 100. My bad, I'm reading this wrong. Okay, where 100 represents 100% correct. Final scores are calculated as an average of the 5 assignment scores. Your application needs to perform basic math operations to calculate the final grades for each student. Your application needs to output / display each student's name and final score. Currently, the teacher's gradebook shows the graded assignments for each student as follows. Okay, so Sophia has a 93 and 87, a 98 and 95, and an 100. Nicholas has an 80 and 83, an 82, an 88, and an 85. Zariah has a 84, 96, 73, 85, 79. And then Jiang has a 90, 92, 98, 100, 97. She wants it calculated as student grade and letter grade. So they want us to copy and paste this code, only because it's not important, so. Plus it's a lot to just like type out. So we're just gonna go ahead and copy and paste that into the net editor. Okay. This task will create a variable for each student that will represent the sum of their assignment scores. You'll also display the student's sum along with their name in the console output. Since the assignment scores are represented as integers, you'll create integer variables to store the sums. Ensure that you have yeah, blah 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 blah. I have that open. Okay, I did that too. Scroll to the bottom of your code and create a new blank code line. To declare an integer for each student, which you can use to sum the square into the following code. Okay. Well, I like to be neat, so I'm just gonna separate that. Alright, integer Sophia sum equals 0. And then we're just gonna do that for every other person. So Nicholas sum equals 0. Integer Soraya. Wait. So there we go. Sum equals 0. And then integer sum equals 0. Notice that 0 is assigned to the variables as part of the declaration statement. In other words, the variables are initialized to 0. Although the value assignment isn't required when declaring variables, it can make your code more efficient. The next step is to display the output, and since the output will include a reference to these variables, they must be initialized. So now I have to do console.writeLine code. So we're gonna go console.writeLine. Sophia then we're gonna add Sophia sum, which is what we declared earlier. But we declared here this integer. That's what's being added into this right here. And that's just the name. So then we want to do another console.writeLine for every other student, because then that is what's going to give us everyone's grade. This is going to go under Nicholas sum. One more time. Okay, now that we've done that, ultimately, you want to display the student's current overall grade, but for now, let's use these console.writeLine statements to display the value of your sum calculations. That way, you can check to see if your code is working correctly at each stage of the development process. So now we want to run the code to see if we have any problems, which we don't. It displays the student's name as well as their grades. Notice that you have no problem displaying your integer values, all of 0 for now. using the same WriteLine method that displays the string literals, which is the students' names. The current numeric value is automatically retrieved by referencing the variable name. Now that you have the console.WriteLine statements ready to display your results, let's start adding the code that performs your calculations. Okay, so all of this that I need to write needs to go above this. So we're gonna split that. Otherwise it's gonna display the output and then it's not gonna know what to do with the integers. So and Sophia sum. Right here. Go write the code that calculates the sum value for each student. First you'll add the student's assignment scores and assign the value to the sum variables. Let's start with Sophia. Remember that Sophia's scores are stored in the following code, which is up here. Update the line of code to the following. Okay, so now we want to take this here. Instead of it saying 0, we want to add all of the strings above, which is 1 through 5. And we want to add them together. So we're gonna go Sophia 2 plus Sophia 3 plus Sophia 4 plus Sophia 5. And so now if I try to run it, it shows that Sophia's output is 473 because those are all of the numbers added together or whatever. So now I just need to do the same thing for the next lines, which should be Nicholas 1 plus Nicholas 2 plus Nicholas 3 plus 4 plus 5. I might do some Roblox every now and again on the stream so I don't get tired out of this code. But right now I'm currently working on my certification, so that's why you're seeing code. I had tacos for dinner. They were good tacos too, so that was fun. Now they all have numbers: 473, 418, 417, and 477. Now we need to calculate the average. So we want one here. So this code that we're writing is what's going to give us our average. So we're going to have to create decimals for it. Okay. So we want to decimal everyone, basically. Notice that you're only declaring the decimal value of many variables and not initializing them. You chose the decimal type because you are representing an average grade and want to include a decimal place that wouldn't be available if you used an integer. This way, you can see if a student made a score of 89.9 and bump them up from a B to an A. In the previous exercise, you initialized the integer variable so that you could immediately use them in your console output. In this case, these decimal variables will be initialized in the next step using calculations with the existing data, starting with Sophia's score to assign Sophia's current score in the class the decimal Sophia score. Update the variable with the following code. So now we want to go back to here. Equals Sophia's sum divided by current assignments. Current assignments is here, divided by 5. So what it's going to take is Sophia's sum, which is here, which was defined as this whole chart here, and it's going to divide that by the current assignments value, which is 5. So it will take whatever her total was for all of this and divide it by 5 and give me the answer. So simple. Wait. What's it say to do now? To calculate a student's current score for the class, you divide the sum of assignment scores by the total number of assignments. Each student in the class has 5 assignments represented by current assignments that you initialize during setup. To assign the rest of the student's scores, enter the following code. So we just do the same exact thing. Nicholas sum divided by current assignments equals sum divided by current assignments, and then same thing here. I had some chicken today. Ultimately, you want to display the grades for each student in this application. Next up, you'll modify the code to display each student's score rather than their assignment sum. To display each student's current score, replace the sum variables in the display statements with the score variables. Oh, Oh yeah, so here, we're going to change it to score. Otherwise, it would just show the sum. Take a minute to consider the incremental approach you're using to develop this application. Breaking down a problem into smaller pieces is an important skill for developers. Building your code incrementally and checking your work frequently allows you to quickly develop reliable applications. In this case, you're able to repurpose console.writeLine to verify that your calculations are correct as you complete each stage in the process. To view the values of each student's current grade, select Run. And they match up 94, 83, 83, 85. I mean 95. Now, if you guys are curious on what happens if you don't write something right, if I just remove this semicolon at the end, you're gonna get an error message. And it tells you which line it is. Line 41. And it tells you that a semicolon is supposed to be there to be able to run it as expected, and then you hit run again, solve your issue. So it's actually a pretty smart console at giving you error messages and telling you what you did wrong. Alright, next. Notice that the scores are displayed as integers rather than decimals. When you want the result of a division calculation to be a decimal value, either the dividend or the divisor must be of type decimal, or both. When you use integer variables in the calculation, you need to apply a technique known as casting to convert an integer to a decimal. For the square calculation, you can obtain a decimal result by casting either the sum variable or current assignments as a decimal type. In this case, you'll cast the sum as a decimal. In your division operations, to cast an integer variable as a decimal, update your code as follows. So, decimal, Sophia score. And we're just gonna make it known that this is a decimal. It's not really basic. It's actually kind of a complex computer language from what I've heard. It's C#, so it's not exactly basic, but the console is pretty good at giving you like feedback on what you did wrong, so you're able to fix the issue more, quickly, more, just easier. But I mean, I haven't really learned any other coding languages, so I can't say which one is the most basic or easiest, but I mean, HTML or JavaScript, or not JavaScript, JavaScript or Python, one of them, they might be easier, but I know C# is kind of complex. Okay, so I assigned it as a dividend divisor or whatever. Okay, you only need the dividend or divisor to be a decimal type for the division to result in a decimal value. Here, you cast only the sum variable that's used as the dividend. So now, review the following grade scale that the teacher uses to assign letter grades. A 97 to 100 is an A+, a 93 to 96 is an A, a 90 to 92 is an A-, an 87 to 89 is a B+, and an 83 to 86 is a B. So Sophia has a 94.6. Nicholas has an 83.6. Zahira has an 83.4 and John has a 95.4. So the order I'm seeing here is A, B, B, A. The next step is to include a letter grade for each student based on their total score. Adding the letter grade to the displayed amount of the output would be a manual process. So we're going to do the apostrophe, letter apostrophe, which defines and tells you that you want directly that letter. Like how these say Sophia, that's what gives you this right here, Sophia. Otherwise, it's not going to know what you're talking about. But, so we're going to go here. We're going to do add operation and then A. So we're going to do this the same thing for here, add operation B. Add operation B. Add operation A. Now we can try running it. And here we have it, ABBA. Your code should now be displaying student scores as a decimal value, and you should see the letter grade that you assigned. If your code displays differently, it doesn't. So you can continue. Oh man, now we're learning escape sequences. This is the ones that I do need work on. So we're creating a blank line above it. So right here. And we want to add a header for the student grades. So console dot right line. Student grade /n.
This is a reminder. Plug in laptop. This is a reminder. Plug in laptop.
Anyway. Alright. Notice that you're including /n at the end of the text. In the perform basic string formatting by C# module, you learn that the /n escape character sequence will cause a new line to be created. The location of the escape sequence is important. In this case, the /n is at the end of the information that you want to create, that you want to write the console, so the new line will be added after student grade is displayed. So we would have a new line, obviously. Okay. T escape sequence will insert a tab stop between the text items. Adding the tab stop should result in left-aligned columns of information. To view the results of your update, select Run. Compare the output of your application with the following output. Oops. I did forget the semicolon, that was my bad. So now as you can see, there's a new line in between it. If there was a /T, everything would just be wonky. Notice that despite using a tab instead of a space character, some lines still don't have much white space between the student's name and a numeric score. The difference is due to the way tab spacing is being applied. Tab stop locations are set at 4 character intervals, and each tab will advance to the next tab stop location. If you have a string of 5 characters followed by a tab escape sequence, the escape sequence will advance to the tab stop at the 8 character location, filling the gap with space characters to create white space in the output. However, you can advance to the same location if you have a string of 7 characters followed by a tab escape sequence. This makes tab escape sequences more noticeable when they occur further from the next tab stop location. To make the white space more noticeable between the first 2 columns, add another /T after the 2 shorter student names as follows. And fixed. Oh wait, we forgot to add the tab for the column. Okay, tabs are fixed. Alright, ready to continue. Oh, it's a knowledge check. What does the following code accomplish? Var value equals integer, dividend / integer, divisor. Cast the operands to truncate the result. declares an explicitly typed integer value. That's the operands to prevent. So, what? No, that makes no sense. Usually I get questions like these, where it's like, what does this symbol mean? Or like, what does this like code do? But then it's like this. I don't know this vocabulary, so it's like, I'm not gonna know this question. But I think it's cross the operands to truncate the result. I mean, it doesn't declare the type in the value. Wait, no. I think it's casting, but then now that I think about it, it might actually declare the type value. Well, I don't know. We're gonna go with this one. And we'll look at the explanation in the end. What does the money symbol do when used in a string? The money symbol is used for oh, okay, wait, okay. I never caught the full-on definition. But I want to assume that it allows you to use the string interpolation to include variables in the string. I mean, otherwise it allows you to reference something in braces, brackets, whatever. The good thing is this isn't an actual test, so like I can get these wrong and it'll tell me why, but you know. What is wrong with the following code? Integer Sophia sum. Console.writeLine Sophia plus Sophia sum. Well, it's initialized before it. I don't think it's typed to a string. What's the question that I need for this? Oh. Okay. I don't know. This was a hard knowledge check, and I don't know why, but we're just gonna go with these answers, see what we did wrong. I wanna review these first. Oh, I got the first two correct. The operands are casted to the integer type data that will create an implicitly typed. Yeah, okay, so that's because I got it from these. The int is what declares, it's the casting method to declare what type of number you want. So it's either like int or like integer or decimal, like when we put decimal there, to make it output decimal numbers and not whole numbers. So got that one correct. And then this allows you to use string interpolation to include variables in the string. And then this it wasn't initialized. Which honestly, I probably should have figured that out, because I'm pretty sure what it's talking about is when it's this line of code, it's not set to equal to anything, and there should be a value, like a value for the variable in order for it to like actually like get that there. So now that I look back at it, it makes sense. So now I can unlock this achievement. And the next is to calculate a GPA. So, as said here, it's not initialized. So we check our answer. Maybe. I'll have to click that. There we go. Next. This will probably be the last lesson that we do, though. But yeah. Developers perform tasks nearly every day, tasks including declaring string and numeric variables, assigning and extracting values, and performing calculations are not only routine, but essential. Equally important is the task of communicating results to the application user. Mastering the ability to apply these skills to solve a given problem is something that every developer must learn to do. Suppose your teacher's assistant at a university. Your task of developing an application that helps calculate a student's grade point average. The application uses the student's grades and credit hours taken to calculate the overall GPA. You're also provided a required format for reporting the student's GPA. Okay. For the variables to store and retrieve data, for basic math operations, for my strings difference and results. Let's go ahead. So fun. Oh, I didn't even click it. Okay. So I was given the student's name and class information. Each class has a name, the student's grade, the number of credit hours for that class. To calculate the GPA, multiply the grade value for the course by the number of credit hours for that course. Do this for each course and add these results together to find the resulting sum by the total number of credit hours. So I'm provided with this format. So student Sophia Johnson, course, grade, credit hours. These are the courses, this is the grades, this is the credit hours, and then this is the final GPA. So we want all of this into here. In this task, you'll identify the numeric equivalents for the students earned letter grade. Then you have a clear variables to store the numeric data, like for the numeric grade value for each class. The numeric equivalents are represented as whole numbers, so you'll be using the integer data type to store the values. Ensure that you have review the following letter grade numeric equivalent values. A equals 4 grade points, B equals 3 grade points. Scroll down to the bottom of your code and create a new blank line to declare an integer and a following code. Okay, so integers grade A equals 4, and then grade B equals 3. Notice fixed values are used to represent the numeric grades. This technique helps make your code easy to understand and help to prevent typos if you need to enter different grades repeatedly. Values for grades C, D, and F are omitted for now since they're unused. Now we need to create new integers. And we need to do now we're defining what their grade was for each course. Hello. B. To display the course names along with the numeric grade into the following data. Okay. Console dot write line. We need to use the money value. Then we need our brackets. Course 1 name. Course 1 grade. And I need to do that for each one. did anything wrong, it should say. I did. Let's go. Magnus 114, Algebra 113, Biology 113, Computer Science 113, Psychology 114. Okay. So now we need to add credit. And now you have the credits. Recall that to calculate a student's GPA, you need the total number of credit hours and the total number of grade points earned. The grade points earned for a course is equal to the product of the number of credit hours for that course in numeric grade value earned. For example, English 101 credit is 4, credit hours is 3, grade points is 12. Variables to store values. So I need to calculate the GPA. Go create a variable to speed sum. So credit hours for each course. And another variable to store the sum of the grade points the student earned for each course. Line above. Integer total credit hours equal to 0. This initialization allows you to increment a cell while keeping your code organized. I'm going to implement this. Okay. Most of the code you wrote breaks down the problem into manageable pieces rather than trying to calculate the GPA in one large operation. First you initialized and calculated the value of total credit hours. You initialized and calculated the value of total grade points. Afterwards, you use these values in your final calculation. Oh wait, oops. Decimal. Grade point average. You want this as an actual decimal for our values, or make that a decimal? Create a new line. Console dot write line. And we want final GPA. And then we want it to be the grade point average variable that we created earlier. I have noticed that the decimal result contains many more digits than the standard GPA. Above it, integer leading digit. integer grade point average. Integer first digit is equal to integer value grade point average times 10 First half of the operation, you move the decimal one place to the right and cast it to an integer. In the second half, you use the remainder or modulo operator to get the remainder of division by 10, which isolates the last digit in the integer. Suppose grade point average is 2.994573. Performing the operation on these values would result in resulting value of first digit is 9. Next, you'll apply the same operation to retrieve the second digit. Integer second digit equals integer value grade times 100 percent 10. Leading digit dot first digit second digit So now we're gonna write the student's name. Also, dot write line money student we added a new line. new line for 5 GPA. And we're gonna add new tabs. We're gonna run it. Student, readjust, course, module 1, module 1, module 1, your science 1, psychology 1, grade 3, 4, credit hours, 3, 4, 3, biology GPA, 5. Let's go. The first decimal grade point. What is the value of integer? Well, it's not a decimal, so it takes the first digit, doesn't it? I forgot that one. I want to say it was 3. Why does x equal 1? Okay, what is 7 divided by 5? 1.4. I don't know, but you also didn't declare it, I would think. Wait. I don't know, at this point, we're just gonna see. Result is 3 because when you pass a decimal to an integer, the decimal should be without rounding. Yeah, see, it doesn't round. And then so it's decimal. And then here, following integer division will yield the integer's result. Oh, yeah, it would have been this one. Because it's integer division and not decimal division. So you'll get an integer result instead of a decimal. Because you also didn't declare it to be a decimal value. Ugh. Oh man. Why don't you? 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 And I have completed the first module. There's like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, there's 6 other ones left. So I'm close. Why don't you? I might try and grind it this week. Why don't you?